No. Okay.
Back.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
So, I am tired. I am exhausted. I know I'm not alone in that. But here we all are on a freezing cold street in the dead of winter, trying to respond to a badly thought out, cruel, ideological mess of a green paper that the government were hoping they could push past our communities. I'm furious about the spirals of despair I have been forced to watch as word of this paper has spread. And I'm also Daniella Bella, and I'm speaking on behalf of Neuropod Ireland, a group which normally organises social events and community spaces for neurodivergent people, but recently we haven't been able to do that. All of our time has been taken up with this green paper. Coming to grips with this half thought out proposal took so many sleepless nights, staying up late till 4 a.m. listening to Oireachtas debates, pushing through pain and tears and trauma to get a handle on it all, and then start working on do the work of responding and engaging and demystifying the paper and the process, making graphics and writing, all things we as a community did not have the energy or support for. Some of us at MPI have seen these kinds of initiatives before. Some of us, like myself and many here, are new to this kind of fight and had to learn a lot very quickly while being drawn back to a time in our lives when we often felt like the only advocate we had for ourselves was ourselves. And we were put into adversarial positions with both the medical establishment and the Masters of the Disability Allowance. I've been worried for my friends. Many are frozen in fear by these proposals. Many are in mental and physical health crises because of this. The ones who helped make this rally happen even. The ones who couldn't. The ones who can't even face this discussion. My friends have been worried about my health and well-being too. This is not testimony to be discounted. This is us as an organisation telling you, the minister and civil servants, that you are doing harm. This proposal has terrified our communities. We have families and friends we should be making plans to celebrate with, but instead we could figure out if we or our friends are at risk of being forced into the Intrio system and to start working for the first time in a long time, or the first time ever. For those of us who are neurodivergent, it can be really hard for us to take our minds off of upheavals like this. You can't schedule panic. It doesn't go away just because you're in a flare-up. It doesn't wait its turn just because we need to go see our friends or do community organising work or play with our kids. This green paper was written for politicians by civil servants. Its language is utterly insensitive to our communities. Neurodivergent people are a community that disproportionately has trouble getting heard by doctors and other professionals. Our conditions are not always obvious. They are often difficult to diagnose. Hypermobility spectrum disorders, mast cell activation disorder, fibromyalgia, POTS, dysautonomia, autoimmune disorders like celiac disease, lupus, multiple sclerosis, PCOS, GI disorders, trauma from being trans or queer, or just trauma from being neurodivergent. Time until diagnosis of these conditions can be substantial, and the doctors often don't know how to treat you once you are diagnosed. This green paper will force our community to retread those traumatic experiences regularly for the pleasure of being put into the government's tier system. This is cruel and unacceptable and will not lessen poverty for our community. We should be believed and not have to rely on doctors to write reports as to our levels of impairment. When they aren't aware of the day-to-day living nearly as well as we are. We should be believed when we say that we can't do something or that doing something will cause us harm. We should be believed when we say that we need sensory breaks or time away from people or mobility equipment. We should be believed when we say we are disabled. Sorry. the rain is making it hard to do anything. Our country shouldn't be chasing Europe to see how many more people we can force into work. We should be leading the way and caring for each other so that disabled people feel like we can make meaningful choices about our own lives. We should be leading the way with a guaranteed income for disabled people that matches the cost of being disabled. We should be leading the way by doing away with means testing so that disabled people can choose to work or get married or save money or receive inheritance without fearing for their supports. But most importantly, we should be leading the way by actually listening to disabled people from the beginning when designing the systems that affect us. The government must scrap this green paper.